everyone, it's Jean. Just stopping by for a quick update on what I've been doing. I have like a lot of things in my head that I want to do and things that I need to do, and sometimes there are things I'd rather do than the things I need to do, if that makes any sense. So today, or actually the last couple days, what I have been making are strawberries. My daughter loves strawberries, and I found this real pretty crushed velvet in my mom's sewing, or her offcuts box, and I made 2 strawberries out of them. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about making the strawberries. They're not difficult whatsoever. You can sew them all by hand, or you can do part of them by machine. I was lazy and did part of them by machine, even though I ended up having to rethread my machine like 10 times. So I could have probably gotten them done faster by just hand stitching them. But what you need to have in order to make your strawberries, these are just the bases of the strawberries, and I have to fill them and then with stuffing, and then go around the edge and gather that. But basically what you need is you need to find something that's about a 6-inch circle. So if you have a protractor and you can do that, or if you don't and you have maybe a bowl or dish or something that you can trace around, you want the size of at least 6 inches. That makes a nice size strawberry. That's what these big ones are. These bigger ones are. Then you can take after you cut out your 1/3, you want to be able to then make another piece that is a little bit smaller. So what I did is I folded the circle in half on each side so that I could get the markings. And let me show you with the smaller circle so you'll know what I mean. Okay, so here is a smaller circle. So if this is your 6-inch circle that you have traced and you have cut out, the first thing I do, or I had done in order to get the correct size, is I folded it in half and creased it, and then opened it up and folded it in half again and creased it, and opened it up and actually folded it this way. Okay, so that when you open it back up, you have a pie of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. Okay, let me fold it one more time, and we'll have 8 sections. Okay, so the 1/3 section would be, where's my pen? Your 1/3 section would be this right here. Okay. So this is your 1/3 section. You can take this other 1/3 section if you want to and cut it down smaller like I did on mine. I have a pattern 1 and a pattern 2 so that I did these on pretty heavy cardstock so they would last a while. But sometimes, excuse me a minute, sometimes if you're not as precise, and I'm not precise when it comes to sizing things, all your big ones will be the same size and all your little ones will be the same size. But realistically, even when you're sewing something by hand, or I'm sorry, sewing it closed by machine, you may get some that are a little bit bigger or as you can see here, like there's a little bit more on it than on the back. I found this fabric and it is like the cutest thing. It needs iron, but it's the cutest fabric. I made a strawberry out of it, and I love it. And I found some pinks and some red stripes, but then I looked around and I thought, why not do all different colors just for fun? One I saw online was actually white, and I guess at one point a strawberry, you can find white strawberries, but a couple pieces of advice. So I have felt or wool felt, and I cut out some leaves and I did a little bit of an embroidery stitch on them. So what I would do then, goodness, I knew I was tired, but I wasn't sure I was that tired. So what I do with them then is I take the leaves and just position them on, and you can do this with a dab of glue, hot glue, whatever you want, and just put them on. You need about 3 to make it look correct. But what I wanted to tell you is when you are gathering, you want to make sure that you gather so that you don't get a bunch of lumps and bumps, because I can show you, like these, this is actually okay. Like this red one here, it's kind of lumpy. And if you're not, and like these, see how they're folded over and lumpy? You're going to have to really be strategic on how you place your leaves so that you don't get that wad right here, you know, interfering with your design. So if at all possible, it would be advisable to sew these as well as you can so that they all meet. These little tiny ones that I made out of a piece of a hanky I had, they're all bubbled up too. So I don't want to stick a needle in there and run it through the bottom because I don't think that would look good. However, I am thinking about making some charms out of these. I tried to have 3 of each, but because this was a remnant of a handkerchief, I didn't get 3 of those. But I have some lilac, I have some pink, I have this red velvet, but this is, I think, faux velvet, not real. I have this stripe, which is really cool. And these are cute little ones because I wanted 2 sizes. Not 100% sold on the blue yet, but I'll have to decide because I love this one. This one that's in the yellow and burgundy stripe is so pretty. I think I love it even more than the pink. And then here are I call these my Scottish kilt ones. These would be what you would normally use for a strawberry. These are, I don't know what I'm going to call these, but here's my crushed velvet ones. Here we have some more of the red polka dot. Here's another of my Scottish Highlands and 2 of these. They kind of remind you of teardrops, don't they? But I love stripes and I love plaids. So there are plaids and stripes. I even did this one, which is a floral. It needs to be ironed out. And the whole reason I started this and found these is because I was looking on Pinterest for something about stuffed dolls, and somehow I got onto pin cushions, and I was reading about pin cushions, and I remember years ago I made a lot of pin cushions. This is one that I made out of a bottle cap. Maybe it was a little bit bigger cap, not just a bottle cap, but it's been around a little while. And I also made other pin keeps, but we made them because there was this interest in what they call make-dos. And make-dos are things that in colonial times, if you would break a cup or a glass maybe, or maybe one of your candlesticks or something that you didn't want to throw away, a lot of times they would make what they call make-dos. So they would make do with what they had. So they would take their fabric that was from leftover clothing and they would make hearts and mount them on the broken candlestick. A lot of times they made very beautiful pin keeps and pin cushions. And I had done some of that probably 20 years ago or more. And I was just looking at the pin cushions and I saw the strawberry ones, and my daughter loves strawberries. But what I was going to say is that pin cushions were not only designed to hold your pins, but you also made your pin cushion and filled it with emery, or in that time they might not have had emery, so they filled it with wool roving. They could also fill it with cracked walnut shells. And the reason for those different things that they filled them with is because they would keep the needles sharp. So you have this adorable pincushion, and you think, oh, it's just to keep my pins because I don't want to lose them, but it's really helping to keep them from getting dull as well. So I have more that I need to iron and sew, but I have still a little bit of this green thread on this needle, and I'm going to take this blue one. I want to see what it looks like. It probably could be ironed first, but we'll see. This is just some regular stuffing. So these wouldn't be the kind that you would use for your needles because they're just stuffed with stuffing. So I'm going to stuff them, this, and then I'm going to show you how I go about closing it up. And it's just a running stitch. So if you have ever done a running stitch, like on a yo-yo or something like that, it's really easy. And it's easier for me because I was lazy and sewed the edges with the machine. I have to look at this a second. Okay, so it is the same size. All right. So basically for a gathering stitch, you just go in and out and in and out the whole way around. You do not have to bend it in. I don't anyway. I do with yo-yos, but with these I have not been bending it in. And basically what we want is I'm going to put a tiny bit more stuffing in there. We want it so that and I'm also going to tie a tail on this. We want it so that it gathers nicely, like I said, so that there's not any hump or bump. And you can fiddle-dee-dee. It's a little bit dark here, so I'm not sure if I got that or not. No. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it. Just so it doesn't come off of my needle. So I was talking to my mom earlier today, and I said, you know how you get in the mood for certain things? And right now I'm in my sewing mood. And I made 5,000 of these strawberries. Whether I will actually do them all is another story. But I have done strawberries before, but out of wool felt. And that's a really nice. So as I'm making this, I'm kind of pushing the stuffing in a little bit because I put extra stuffing. And then I'm just going to pull these too tight as I can get them. I don't want the stuffing sticking out. There's this little piece right here that's bugging me because it's too long. Okay. So just like you would gather a yo-yo or another piece of fabric and you want it to be nice and tight, and I wish mine would make a perfect O in the middle, but they don't. Maybe at one point I'll figure out how to make it with a perfect O. But there you go. There's a blue one with floral on it, which I think is really pretty. And that's the whole reason why I started doing different colors, because of them being pin keeps or pin cushions. You know, that's when you can take poetic license, so to speak, and make them different colors. So I think what happens, and this is a thicker material, so it's obviously going to pucker differently than some of this like cotton would, but I would press this in like this, and then I would just put my leaves on the top. They're going the right way. And just put my leaves here. And where's my third one? I could just put these here so that they at least covered the hole. And then if you want to leave this little thing, you can. And then you could make a tiny strawberry and hang it from that. You could do that as well. So there are the leaves, and they can be just put on by gluing them on. So let me see which one would look nice. I wanted to do one of those striped ones, but they were giving me a time with the bumps. Okay, let me just press this in. So that's another thing I'll do too, is I'll take the fabric and just kind of press it in so that it's turned in on itself and not so lumpy sticking up. And that looks much, much better. And then when I put my leaf on, I'm going to use this glue. I'm going to put some right in the middle, so that'll help that stay down. And then I'm just going to lay, this is the biggest one. So I'm just going to lay this on top. And I might need a tiny bit more glue. I just don't want the glue to come through the top of the felt because it turns it like a white color. That particular glue anyway. And here is another one. And then I'll use another tiny drop. And here is the last one. Now, if you want to, and this is totally up to you, you can tack these down so they look like they're going down the side of the strawberry like this. it doesn't really matter to me whether I tack them down. I think they look cute just like this. I mean, I don't want them sticking up like ears either, but this is wool felt and it's kind of pliable, so you can make it go and do, see already what you wanted to do. But I just love this color of the burgundy and gold. I was cutting some the other night and I said to my son, do you think this would be a good one of the colors? I forget what color it was. It was orange? Yeah, I think it had little orange flowers on it or something. And I said, do you think this would be a good color for strawberry? And he's like, no, Mom, it has yellow in it. And then as he's leaving, he's like, it could be a rotten strawberry. So, I don't know. This fabric, it just seems very vintage to me, and I just like the effect. So, you can also take some wool felt and kind of roll it up in a little tiny roll and use it as a stem if you'd like. You can get real stems, like wood stems if you want to, but they don't really have wood stems. So you can probably just take the little felt thing and make yourself a stem if you think it needs it. Now I want to show you one other kind. And this is just kind of a brainstorming type of thing. So I made one of my Scottish Highland ones, the kilt ones, and I stitched down the seam. And the seam was sewn with the machine. You can see it. Then I put the leaves on. And then I thought I would put, for the topper, this cute little jewelry piece. This is a post earring that I just had laying out. So I tried it. The only thing is that when you lay it down, it makes it top heavy. Obviously, because of the jewelry on the top. But if you were going to lay several of these in a little bowl or something, that would look really cute. So that's my blinged up one with this blingy. And if you look online at all, if you're curious, it wasn't unusual for them on the stitch line to stitch down the middle. So there's that, and lots more to go. I'm debating on whether I want to wait to Saturday and do arm's length Saturday. I am going to host that and do that this Saturday. So if you all are interested, come on out and we will have a play. I think I'll be making strawberries. And really, you know, that's all I have for now. I went through my mom's fabric stash and she's like, Jean. So I'm having fun doing that, making more messes, I suppose. But I really appreciate you stopping by, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.